So as we are waiting for the Fmos chain to be rebooted, which probably will take another few weeks, let's look into some of the ecosystem projects that will launch on Fmos. We'll be looking into some of the DeFi protocols, but also into some of the NFT stuff, and some projects already announced that they will do airdrops. Fmos is also the channel sponsor here of Cryptocito, and if you want to stay up to date with the hottest and the latest, then subscribe to the newsletter down in the video description. And also a great place to not miss any updates on Fmos, where you can hear directly from the founders, from the builders, from the developers, what's going on. It's just on Twitter, right? Fmos.org, follow them there and tune in for their weekly community calls, which is every Tuesday, right? So don't miss on that. Also, you can bookmark that so you can be notified once the next call is on. And you can also directly ask questions there to Federico or Akash and Liam. The whole team is there. Also follow their community channels either here on Telegram or over at Discord. Now, the first project we look at is Diffusion. Diffusion is an AMM. It's basically a simple Uniswap version 2 fork on Fmos. And this is their website. If you want to learn something about their tokenomics and also partnerships that they're having, go on their Medium and click here, for example, on the Diffusion tokenomics, as they also have an airdrop coming up. And half of the initial supply, which is 50 million, so 25 million each, will be split between airdrop recipients as well as the strategic reserve, right? So another 50% Genesis airdrop for the community, and then a gradual increase of the supply after 12 years to 326 million tokens. If you want to see if you're eligible, number one, you must have held either unit tokens. Number two, you must have been an Osmo staker, but only if you're delegated to binary holdings or friends validators. So I think a lot of people have only delegated after they announced it, so that might affect the amount of tokens that you get. Early Fmos users, which I think is something that will still be able to like participate in, as well as early Diffusion adopters, right? So I think 3 and 4, we can still become and make ourselves eligible, right? Similar to like Gravity Dex, for example, they also airdropped a bunch of Cree tokens because they now rebranded to Crescent to early users of their platform. And I keep saying that, guys, whenever these things release, just use them. Do one swap, provide liquidity, participate in governance, and you just maximize eligibility for potential airdrops in the future. So Diffusion might be the biggest and premier automated market maker on Fmos, and they also have a 50% Genesis supply airdrop. So follow them on Twitter here, Diffusion_FI, and then you can also stay up to date in terms of airdrops, in terms of well caps, in terms of product release, and all these kind of things. Next, very important infrastructure project that is not built on Fmos, but is compatible and being integrated with Fmos is Nomad. I just had the founder, Pranay, on my channel. We talked a lot about the Fmos integration. We talked a lot about interoperability as a whole, and also IBC and how that might expand into something bigger. They will be natively integrated into Fmos, and they have a partnership going on, as well as Diffusion. So there will be pools on Diffusion with Nomad as well. And personally, I don't know too much about their own token, the Nomad token. Not sure if they have announced anything yet, but it's a simple interface here where you can just transfer EVM compatible assets to each other, right? And yeah, I think this will also be predominantly integrated on Fmos, so we can also switch from Moonbeam, for example, or Milko Meta, which is a Cardano sidechain, as of my knowledge, to Fmos, for example, right? So very exciting stuff to create this seamless compatibility and seamless interoperability with all these Ethereum chains, or EVM compatible chains, I should say. If you want to learn more about Nomad, then check out my interview with Pranay from March 25. So this is very recent. The next project, which I think is very, very interesting, is Kinesis Labs, because what they're building is a stable coin exchange. They are saying, hey, now with Fmos launching, we're bringing over this giant Ethereum ecosystem, right? And most stablecoin liquidity is still on Ethereum these days. So now let's make a marketplace for stablecoins on Fmos, because you already have the underlying technology to bridge over these assets and to deploy them in a faster, scalable EVM environment. Now, Kinesis aims to become the premier stablecoin exchange on Cosmos, and they are committed to bring the first $100 billion of stablecoins onto Cosmos. They are going to go live once the Fmos mainnet is up and running. So this is really exciting stuff. I think, there's definitely a market for this. They definitely have product market fit. Right now, the only stablecoin we have is basically UST, right? We do have stablecoins on SIF chain. We also have stablecoins like the euro. But in my perception, so far, none of them have really gained traction. And I think also SIF chain, for example, is not aiming to become a stablecoin exchange, right? It's more like you also have stablecoins optionally. But if you just look at the demand and the growth of circulating supply in stablecoins, you could see that over the past year alone, it went from below $40 billion to almost $200 billion, right? So that's a 5x within a year. And I think this number will just keep on growing. There's also other different models of stablecoins and asset-backed algorithmic, right? Like UST with the Mint and Burr model, like USDT with the classic backing of assets, apparently. But anyway, so those stablecoins will come to Fmos through Kinesis Labs. So watch out for that. Give them a follow. Now, another interesting project is XSwap, which is also in the AMM and DeFi space. And I think XSwap, from my perception at least, aims to become something even bigger. I just had Huang from Crescent on my channel, and reading through what XSwap is trying to become, it reminds me a lot of Crescent, with the only differentiator that XSwap aims to be fully EVM compatible. Hence, they're building on Fmos. In this tweet here, apparently to summarize it, XSwap will offer automated market making, stable swap, similar to what Kinesis is doing, lending, a launchpad, starter, liquidity balancer, liquid staking, and farm walls. Next project in line is Nomad DAO. And to my surprise, they entirely shifted away from this Olympus DAO narrative, which we talked about back then when I had them on my channel in December of 2021. So they entirely shifted away from that and now aim to become a venture DAO in Cosmos that is building on Fmos, right? So they announced that on January 26th, which is roughly a month after our interview, that it is becoming a treasury-backed launchpad that is building on top of new EVM-compatible applications via Fmos. So they have very close partnerships and ties, and even my dad, Wasmongton, is a fan of them. So I'm really excited to see where this is going. I think it sounds intriguing to have a decentralized venture fund, basically, a decentralized VC, if you will, that helps to fund and bootstrap new protocols that are EVM compatible via Fmos. So we're going to see how that plays out. Next project is the Compound of Cosmos. If you're familiar with Compound and the DeFi summer of 2020, then you must be excited for this. And I think we're just seeing a lot of like products are being easily deployed at Fmos because of the fact that it is EVM compatible and that you can just fork all these Ethereum projects onto Cosmos. So Cosland is that compound fork for Cosmos, and they will be also releasing their own token, the CLND token, which is a governance token, and it's basically a lending protocol, right? So that's like DeFi on steroids on Cosmos with IBC, EVM compatible, and we basically get a second chance for those that missed the DeFi summer 2020 to be early on a new ecosystem that has all these cool features just in a very fast and scalable and cheap and interoperable environment. Very exciting stuff. They also, I think, add some more features. I'm not too familiar with Compound nowadays. I don't know, for example, if they have time locks, but yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Cosland is a protocol that sounds very exciting and sounds very intriguing. So also here, same case, make sure to follow them on Twitter. Boom, the money market of Cosmos. Now, to also not make this video too long, quick glance into what's going on with NFTs. We obviously have the Fmos punks. I think that's always how it starts. And if you also look into what's going on here, I haven't even looked deeply into those protocols, but Fantastic Swap is a DeFi system on Fmos. Midas Capital is bringing fuse pools to deep liquidity, also built on Fmos. And then you have Expanding Space, which is the first NFT marketplace built on Fmos. So as you can tell, there's a lot going on here. Make your research, stay up to date with the ecosystem. Also, if you find any airdrops, then please keep me informed and share it also on Twitter, share it also with the Cosmonaut community. Also, lastly, make sure that you join my Telegram community, cryptocitos_friends, that we can directly engage and also engage with the community further. I've enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe and be good.